Yeah, okay, good, good. So, I was enjoying that breakout room. I was enjoying seeing Sarana actually, and also enjoying watching Sarana think. Have to dig deep and find that information. I really understand that. But okay, good, right? Audio's working. You see my big old sparkly glasses. And so good morning, afternoon. Some of you are tuning in from not Arizona. So thank you for being here. And also thank you for inviting me back. My name is Ophelia Watahomigie-Corliss, and I am Havasupai. In order for me to speak publicly, I must iterate that my opinions are my own and do not reflect the opinions of the tribe as a whole. But I am a Havasupai woman with her own mind, heart, and desires, and I choose to speak up, speak out, and be loud. Havasupai, that is what we call ourselves, people of the blue-green water. Historically, the names you know most tribes as are more than likely racist and derogatory, but not in all cases, and often are not what the people actually call themselves. Havasupai, this is who we are. One of the first things that you can do is learn the true name of the people who consider the Grand Canyon the birthplace of their people, rather than what has been assigned to them by the Euro-American colonizers of the past. We are the protectors of the Grand Canyon, Bakyova, tasked the Baja with protecting the canyon. That contract is visible through rock writings located in an area restricted from public knowledge, but we Baja know where it is. It outlines this contract, this mutual understanding that we are to be stewards and protectors of our grandmother, Canyon. How can we prove that this is our home? You know, I would say it's easy. We are the only originals of this continent that still live at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. We never left. And if your great relatives came over and forcefully settled this land, then we have been here longer than your family. And if you are not, then it is good to see you again, my relative, my brothers and sisters. If you've ever heard a Havasupai say that I am the Grand Canyon, it is a very literal meaning. When we are children, a mixture is created for us and significant markings are painted onto our bodies so that we know we are of this land, of this earth, of the ancestors, of the air, of the plants, of the animals, and of the water. There is intention here, and its intentions are to tell us that we are this land. We are the Grand Canyon, literally. It draws up passion that can be categorized as something that offends you when we speak about protecting our home, when we speak what has been taken from us, how the land has been hurt, and in turn, we ourselves become wounded by the treachery that has come with Euro-American colonization. When we see the canyon walls, we see and feel ourselves. We see and feel our parents. We see and feel our ancestors. There is no separating a Havasupai from the land that flows in our blood, the land that is in our hearts, and the land that our hearts are buried beneath. And that land is so-called Grand Canyon National Park. The Colorado River we call Hog-Thediah. Hog-Thediah, the older one, the elder, the bigger one, the mightiest. Hayatat. Hayatat. The Colorado River in the middle is very rough. It's wavy, and this is the backbone. Hayatat, the backbone of the Colorado River. To the north, the Utes and the Paiutes are responsible for that side of the river. The south side is Baja territory. We are the ones who are supposed to take care of everything on this side. Plant life, wildlife, springs, rocks, everything that we have on the south, we are responsible to take care of. From where the first springs start, there's Havasu Creek, all the springs within the canyon, north and south, all of those small drips, seeps, springs, they all go into the Colorado River and become as one. The river is the big sister, the elder, the oldest, and mightiest of waters below the rim. And we are the water people. We are a part of that river. We travel from the beginning of Havasu Creek all the way to the Colorado River, and we join that river. And as we continue to travel down, we essentially help make electricity at Hoover Dam and continue to help sustain life all the way to the water's end. We are of few tributaries that contribute water to the Colorado River. We are the water people. We are born from the water. This is something that just is. And we participate in all life from Havasu Creek to the Colorado's end. When Billy Burrow was beat up by Grand Canyon Park Rangers at Indian Garden, tied up and put on a mule that carried him out of Indian Gardens, he died of a broken heart that same year in 1919. His family farmed Indian Gardens all the way until the park essentially killed him by forcing him out of his home and leaving him homeless. So when you let people off at Phantom Ranch, they are walking that same history and heartache on so-called Bright Angel Trail, which is actually called Gethiat Viehe Ninya, because the Douglas fir looks like the end of the coyote tail you swear you just saw turning around the corner of the trail. Tell your passengers that this is Havasupai land. Tell your passengers this is rightfully our land, but your government only chose to label it Havasupai traditional use land, which is unfair and unjust, and that's the truth. Tell them Havasupai still live within the park and that we have never left, despite the burning of our cabins in the 30s and refusal of water to our people in the 70s. Tell them that despite the war brought on by your government to throw out my people, they never won because we never left. But they stole Indian Gardens from us. They stole it all. And we have been forced to learn how to live with it, to live with you, to work with the government, to work with the park. And despite these atrocities that we have faced, they could never actually get rid of us. We are the Grand Canyon, and you are on our rightful land. Tell them that they will not find any public park information telling them any of this true history because the truth has been hidden from you purposefully. You can also tell them in the last 2 years, the park is making changes and efforts to get our true history out and to get it highlighted at Indian Garden. They are considering renaming Indian Garden, and that the tribe is making its efforts to trust the Park Service, because trusting them means telling them our traditional names for these places. And that is a trust that has already been broken, and we are scared to tell them anything. Even in the year 2020, we are afraid to tell you, the park, or any outsiders about ourselves. And it's nothing that you can fix. It's the reason I have chosen not to make a PowerPoint. It's the reason I have no materials to pass out to you. It's exhausting when you become offended. Some of you have acted like this canyon is yours. Some of you say racist remarks about us on your river trips. I know because I've been on an 8-day rafting trip where the first captain said enough remarks that the second in command did not speak up about those. And my father wrote a complaint to that company. And as I am told, the situation is being used as a learning tool of what not to do. Those individuals are probably watching, and I trust that they are doing better, and in ways I know that they are. That company contacted me last year and asked what the tribe wanted concerning tourists coming up to Beaver Falls. The tribe has been on complete lockdown since March 16th, 2020. We have not allowed any tourists near the reservation, and as the traditional use land stretches from our reservation boundary all the way to the spine of the Colorado River, remember, that's in the middle of the river, we have a legal and cultural right to request this of the guests of the Grand Canyon National Park. Much of your outrage pushed the park to contact the tribe to tell us that we did not have that right. And in fact, the park issued a false press release and said river runners were allowed to go up to Beaver Falls. Where was the miscommunication? On our end? On theirs? It didn't matter. That same company contacted me, and I confirmed it was a false report. Thank you to this individual for bringing up this misprint, because I immediately got on the phone, rustled some feathers, and got yelled at for being insubordinate, but I could have cared less. I have a bachelor's degree in public relations. I know press releases can be reissued, and that's exactly what I told the park liaison. And we had a meeting with the superintendent later that day. The park understood the potential social harm this could cause to their goodwill, and the press release was corrected and reissued, stating the tribe did not want river runners coming up to Beaver Falls. The tribe, we are still on lockdown. We have not allowed one single tourist into our canyon or near our village. These protective measures have kept our entire reservation COVID-free. Not a single case in the village of Supai. Partially thanks to people like you who respected the wishes, but really, you respected an absolute need of the tribe. We cannot risk our wisdom keepers whose family member patrols Beaver Falls. We cannot risk the child whose parents patrol Beaver Falls. And it is because of these efforts that we still remain COVID-free to this day. And this is an example of the future, where tribes have a right and a say about their traditional use land, where tribes can work with historically untrustworthy agencies in partnership for the greater good, where river runners respect us and can let their initial infuriation dissipate because that is the right thing to do, to respect our decisions about our land, where tribal members from these tribes can learn to rebuild that trust. This is how. And build relationships where little by little, the true history becomes a little more known every day. Little by little, we are the future. The future is today, and it starts with us. It starts with you. It starts with me. And as the springs, seeps, and drips of the canyon meet and become as one at the Colorado River, we call Hogthadaya. We two need to become as one in order to make an ethical future, to find compromise where we can, and acceptance where we can't. And as we move together towards a brighter future, that is the end of at least what I wrote up, but I totally have time for questions, or I don't even know where I am with my time. So,
Ophelia, I want to thank you. I hope everyone was listening and took pause and took in your words.
Yeah, she had a tummy tuck. She had rest.
I want to
because after a while you have to take them out because
I'm sorry, I think someone is on. There we go. My hope is that everyone was listening. I invite us to take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and let the words that were shared with us settle in.
So she's had pains in her stomach.
I would invite folks, if you'd like to come off mute. We do have 3 minutes for a question or two if you'd like to invite it in the chat, and if that is all right with you, Ophelia.
Yeah, I should get to the chat and get to reading, but most of them are thank yous. I don't know.
As we see a lot of appreciation coming in for the words that you shared and the experiences that you did, you referenced harms that you've witnessed, history we need to know, and hope at the end as well. If you were to consider what the continuation of a hopeful future might be, you talked about trust that had been broken. And I wonder if you can speak to how trust might work to be rebuilt and what actions you would like to see, which you've already shared. I want to honor as well.
Sure. So, I can totally be thankful in 2021 in knowing that the park has either found or is searching, but has funds available for us to revamp Indian Garden, and also the park, I feel, is taking their own responsibility. They're quite a powerful agency, and they don't necessarily have to be relying on the National Board of U.S. Geological Names to be doing a name change. They could be considering something like that within their own politics, and it's to my understanding that they've at least been tossing that around. And so in knowing that, but the thing with the trust is you can keep talking about it, and and we all want to keep talking about it, but it's when you're finally able to say, hey, we're meeting here at the River Runners Association, it's completed, we've done the talk, people are asking me questions, there's a back and forth, there's a dialogue. So that is something that's completed, something that I've seen, something that's come back around full circle. So the more, for example, like when we're able to put some new dialogue down at Indian Garden with the park and it's completed and that's finished, that's going to be another building block for people to say that that's trustworthy, or they've done this for us, maybe I can start to reconsider and start to negotiate some other aspects that maybe we haven't touched since before the 80s. That's what I hope, because some of that anger, animosity, whatever you want to call it, whatever it happens to be, I think you end up not wanting to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And sometimes those policies, or sometimes those issues, whether it's an agency or within the government, just haven't been touched since then. So maybe no one's even wanted to do anything with it for 15 years. Now's a good time, because we're kind of over 15 years of whatever that animosity might have been. And the younger generation, I think we're trying. I'm not that young. I look much younger than I am, but the younger generation, we want to muddle through that. I think we understand that both sides might not have been listening, and that they're willing to listen now, and that's pretty an important first step.
Ophelia, thank you. We're going to invite Daniel on in a moment. I hope you will look at the chat for all the gratitude coming in for your words. Let us take them in and produce action in the ways and advocacy that we can. Ophelia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take a moment.